Welcome to today's Explainer, everyone. I am so thrilled you're tuning in because today we are equipping you with a highly practical visual toolkit. We're going to master the absolute essential building blocks of everyday English conversation. Have you ever felt like you know the vocabulary, you know the words, but your actual conversations still feel, I don't know, a little stiff or unnatural? Well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's just dive right into this and unlock the secrets to sounding fluent, natural, and completely confident. Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We are going to look at the glue of conversation, making plans and suggestions, expressing your preferences, reacting naturally in real time, and finally we'll wrap up by tackling some really common mistakes. Lots to cover, so let's get into it.
We're kicking things off with part 1, the glue of conversation. We're talking about those small words that honestly have a huge impact. These are the tiny bridges that naturally connect our ideas together.
Let's start with a really notorious false friend for a lot of English learners, and that word is actually. You see, in a bunch of different languages, a word that sounds just like this usually means now or currently, but in English, it literally means in reality. So if you say something like, people say bad things about her, but she's actually very nice, what you're saying is that in reality, she is nice. It goes completely against expectations. Definitely burn this definition into your memory. It's a total game changer.
Moving right along, let's look at 3 more pieces of conversational glue. First up, we've got really, which simply means very. Like, wow, that book is really good. Next is else. You use this one when you mean in addition or different. So a perfect example would be asking a friend, do you want to buy anything else? Or maybe, should we go somewhere else? And finally, around. This one is incredibly useful for time and numbers because it means about or approximately. You instantly sound more natural when you say, I'll meet you at around 6 o'clock, instead of a super rigid, I will meet you at 1800 hours.
Now, this brings us to one of the absolute most versatile words in spoken English, anyway. There are 2 totally different ways to use this. In the first scenario, say you tell someone, I'll drive you home, I'm going that way anyway. Here, you're giving a reason for doing something. It essentially means regardless or in any case. But look at the second scenario. Anyway, as I said, I woke up very late today. In this case, you're using it to return to an earlier subject, after getting distracted. It is the perfect conversational pivot.
Moving into Section 2, Making Plans and Suggestions. We are going to look at the exact toolkit you need to propose ideas politely and, most importantly, naturally.
So here are the 4 core phrases we use to start a suggestion. You're definitely going to want to keep this list handy in your mind. We've got let's, how about, what about, and why don't we? These are your absolute go-to starters. They're friendly, they're collaborative, and they sound completely natural to a native speaker. Let's see how this actually plays out in a quick mini dialogue. Imagine I turn to you and say, why don't we go to the cinema this evening? I'm proposing a broad activity, right? You might respond by honing in on a specific option and saying, good idea, how about the new Angelina Jolie film? Do you see how effortlessly those 2 phrases just dance together? One person suggests the where, and the other suggests the what.
But what happens when you don't really have a strong opinion? That brings us to Section 3, Expressing Your Preferences, or as I like to call it, passing the mic.
So when you get asked a direct question like, which film do you want to see? You have 2 perfect tools at your disposal. You can say, I don't mind, which simply means, hey, it's all the same to me, I'll be happy with either choice. And you can pair that beautifully with, it's up to you, meaning you decide. These phrases completely take the pressure off and they keep the conversation flowing smoothly without any of those awkward, stalling pauses.
All right, on to Section 4, Reacting Naturally. A massive part of sounding fluent in English is having those real-time, empathetic responses ready to go, because it shows you're actively listening and actually engaged.
Let's map a few of these reactions out. If someone drops some great news, like, hey, I've passed my exam, your instant celebratory reaction should be, well done. But if the situation is a bit disappointing, say a friend tells you, I'm sorry, but I can't come to your party, you'd map that to, what a pity. It's short, it shows empathy, and it perfectly matches the emotional tone of whatever just happened.
Let's keep mapping these out. Say someone apologizes for a minor mistake, like, oh no, I forgot to bring your book. You want to instantly reassure them, right? The perfect phrase is, oh, it doesn't matter, I don't need it. It just shows the issue isn't a big deal at all. On the flip side, if someone makes a brilliant suggestion like, we need to buy Marta a birthday present, your reaction to show strong agreement would just be, absolutely.
Now, if there's immediate danger, like, there's a car coming, you need a super quick warning, like, look out, or be careful. Alternatively, if someone shares just a minor misfortune, maybe saying, I was late for work today, a brilliant, culturally perfect reaction is, oh dear. It expresses this mild surprise and sympathy, and it opens the door for you to ask something like, oh no, was your boss angry?
All right, Section 5, Avoiding Common Mistakes. Brace yourselves, because we are about to do a rapid-fire sequence to punch through the most common grammar pitfalls learners make with these exact phrases.
First up, when making a suggestion with why don't we, learners so often mistakenly add an ing to the verb. Why don't we going is absolutely incorrect. You always must use the base form of the verb. It is just, why don't we go?
And you're going to apply that exact same rule to the phrase let's. Just cross let's going right out of your mind forever. It is simply let's go. Let's go shopping. Let's go to the cinema. Base verb only, no exceptions.
But wait, here's the flip side of that rule. When you switch your suggestion phrase to how about or what about, you absolutely have to use the ing form. How about go is wrong. How about going or what about getting her a scarf is 100% correct.
And here is our final rapid-fire correction, and it's a big one. When you want to express that you share someone's opinion, never use the verb to be. I am agree is such a common mistake, but you just need to drop the am. Agree is already the verb. Simply say, I agree or I don't agree. Keep it clean, keep it simple.
And just like that, we are at the end of our explainer for today. We've covered conversational glue, how to make and respond to suggestions, how to politely pass the mic, and how to sidestep those tricky grammar traps. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. How many of these conversational building blocks will you spot in your very next English chat? Seriously, the next time you watch a movie or talk to a friend, listen closely for actually, anyway, let's go, and what a pity. I promise they are everywhere once you know what to look for. Keep practicing. You'll be speaking more naturally in no time. Thanks so much for learning with me today.